Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to our YouTube Live. We're talking about the cheapest residency program for Europe. Yes, folks, you heard it. We offer you all the programs, but of course, we get to compare them and tell you which one is the fastest, which one is the slowest, which one is the cheapest. Today, we're looking at Malta. Yes, folks, Malta, small, beautiful Mediterranean island that is part of the EU region and part of the Schengen region as well, which offers both a residency program and a citizenship. Today, we're focusing on the residency program. And just like the rest of our videos, there's no editing, there's no special effects, no censorship, the exposed truth, and a very frank comparison so you can make an informed decision. Okay, just like the rest of our videos on our YouTube channel. And then, of course, right after, since it's alive, we're going to plug in and talk to our audience members, check their questions, their comments, and share the info within the community. Okay, before we get started, quick introduction. Who am I? I'm Reza, licensed immigration practitioner based out of Toronto, although I've lived and resided in many parts of the world. We help businesses and families move across borders or just obtain residencies and citizenship if you don't want to move. That's what we do at Ingwe Canada. Why are we posting this video? It's to share our hands-on immigration knowledge with our worldwide audience, including but not exclusive to existing clients, potential new applicants, and immigration agencies, legal services firms anywhere in the world. If you're thinking about immigrating, well, we're here to help. Get a free email assessment for eligible applicants if you fill out the form down below. And of course, if you're an active immigration practitioner, we can assist you in outsourcing your back office operations, including assessments, processing, and pre-post landing support. And remember, we handpick the best programs and we make sure your clients are taken care of. Way more options than just the standard stuff that you see online. We are a solution provider for Panama, Canada, Portugal, Malta, New Zealand, Greece, Dubai, and we have new countries coming up later this month. Let's jump into it. Of course, Malta is a small island, part of the EU region, right? And it offers a very cost-effective residency program compared to other EU countries. Let's begin by taking a closer look at the residency program. Today, we're not considering the citizenship program. So when you look at the citizenship program, which is the only EU country which is offering a formal citizenship program, besides Austria and some of the other places which are over 5 million euros, Malta is the other one, okay? But that's going to be over €1 million for you, and it's not cheap. It's fast. It's the fastest if you want an EU passport. But if you want a residency and you want to access the EU region without obtaining a passport, well, this is the right one for you, okay? Let's quickly look at it in terms of what's required. It's the Malta Permanent Residency Program, okay? It's one of the most exciting programs we're offering right now. And it's an excellent option for individuals, families who want an EU residency, okay, and allow them to travel within the Schengen area. So a lot of you may go out and buy a passport from the Caribbean islands, right? That's perfectly fine. We offer that as well. But to be honest with you, where can you access with the Caribbean islands that most people are looking for? Bingo, it's the EU. But with half that price, you could get an EU residency, which allows you mobility in the EU region while you're able to, let's say, establish yourself in Malta if you choose to, and there's no residency requirement. Whoa, that's big. What are the basic eligibility? Well, you got to be 18 years or older and a non-EU citizen. That's a given. You either do a property investment through purchase or a rental. So you can either purchase a property depending on where in Malta, between 300,000 to 350,000 minimum base, depending on the region, or you can choose to rent with a minimum annual rent of either 12,000 euros or 10,000 euros, depending on which part. And of course, if you go to nicer places in Malta, you can end up paying higher. So that's the first requirement, and that will create your ties to Malta. The reason the Malta residency program doesn't require a residency in terms of actually living and residing there to renew your residency is that as long as you own or rent a property under your name in Malta, that's perfectly fine. You could literally be outside of the country 95% of the time or 99% of the time, except the renewal and issuing the residency, the first part and the last part, and you can still renew it. So that's the beauty of this program. There is a government contribution of 28,000 euros if you're purchasing an investment, a property, or 58,000 euros if you're renting. Plus, you can add parents and grandparents to your application for their residencies with an additional fee of 7,500 euros per parent or grandparent. In addition to renting or purchasing, the donation I just mentioned, whether 28,000 or 58,000, depending on if you're buying or renting, there's an additional donation of 2,000 euros to a local non-government organization, right? That basically covers it. Applicants must also possess, so you have to have a net worth of 500,000 euros, you and your wife or common law or partner, spouse together under both of your names or combined, right? Out of that 500,000 euros, 150,000 euros of that should be liquid. So they know you can do the donation, the investment, and the rental, right? But the 500,000 euro net worth is just your net worth. So it could be anywhere in the world. You may have properties or term deposits or fund investments, for example. You also need to have health insurance while you hold a residency. And of course, a clean criminal record. So a police clearance certificate is required. So again, to review, you've got to have a contribution of 28,000 euros if you're renting or 58,000. There's a government admin fee, no matter if you buy or rent, of 40,000 euros. Then you've got to purchase the property, which could be 300, 350,000 plus, or you rent a property. So you don't purchase, you just rent it at 10,000 euros a year or 12,000 euros a year as the base minimum. So it could be higher depending on what you pick. If you have expensive taste, well, there you go. And that's per year, the rental. You don't need to pay 5 years in advance. The landlord, you can negotiate and pay per year. But you've got to have a 5-year contract, right? And then a charitable donation of 2,000 euros. And then so in total, you're paying 100,000 euros for donations, admin fees, and all that for the rental, plus the rental fee, plus the legal services fee. Of course, you could do it yourself, or you could hire a firm like ours who will charge a legal service fee to help you throughout the whole process and prepare you, check your eligibility, assessment, connect you with the right people when you arrive there, and so forth. This residency allows you to open bank accounts in the EU region. Ooh. Have your kids study. And the beauty with Malta is that a lot of UK universities and colleges have campuses in Malta. It's a bilingual country. So unlike Spain and Portugal, which you may be struggling with their language, Malta, similar to other countries, let's say Dubai or Hong Kong, is bilingual. And the UK post-secondary education institutions have campuses there in English at fraction of the cost to what they actually charge in the UK if you go to that same campus, okay? So you hold a 5-year indefinite residency if you purchase or rent, and you go through the donation and admin fees. You can renew it after 5 years as long as you're holding that property, whether it was purchase or rental. You get visa-free travel within the entire Schengen area, meaning out of every 6 months, you can travel 90 days outside of Malta into the Schengen area just with your residency, no matter what passport you hold. And however, keep in mind, certain nationalities are restricted. So please get in touch with our office if you're interested in this program, but you have doubts that, hey, I'm holding this passport from this country and, there's some political issues. Am I eligible? We can let you know. Family inclusion, spouse, children, parents, and grandparents, and each one is charged separately for the legal fees. Investment flexibility is there because you've got 5 years residency, which is renewable without living there constantly. And of course, they are a bilingual country, allowing you to speak and communicate freely in English, right? Qualifying dependents under the age of 18, right? Unmarried adult children over 18 who are financially dependent are also eligible. So that's great news. What's the application process? We submit your application with your documents. We include your birth certificates and police passports, valid passports, and a criminal record for any applicants 14 years or older as part of your family, right? And for any country where you've resided over 6 months for the last 10 years. This is pretty standard. You've got to have health insurance, an undertaking to purchase or rent a property. So you only do it when you arrive. So that's the beauty. You don't need to purchase the property or rent it without even seeing it or stepping foot into the country. So you have an undertaking to do so. Basic forms for your due diligence, power of attorney, medical reports, proof of source of funds. So the net worth of 500,000 euros is quite important. And bank statements which support the liquid funds that you also need to show 150,000 euros. So 500,000 euros, within that, you can have 150,000 euros liquid funds. And of course, some undertakings that you will pay the donations, the contributions, the admin fees, and so forth. So what's the key? What's the comparison? Why Malta? Why not Portugal? Why not Spain? Why not Greece? Right? Well, let's look at it. Side-by-side comparison. Portugal Golden Visa starts at 500,000 euros. Whoa, that's 3 to 4 times higher. And, okay, Spain starts at 500,000 euros too. Greece, officially today, starts at 400,000 euros. Yeah, it used to be 250,000. None of those countries are bilingual in terms of English, okay? However, another factor in favor of Malta is that you can get this residency 6 to 8 months after applying. So you've landed in Malta, picked up your permit, rented or purchased, you're done. You can go back home, reside, chill out, travel the EU with that residency. 6 to 8 months. Which of these programs that we're just comparing it to and you are that fast? Well, Portugal is around 20 months plus. It's slow. There's a backlog. Spain, not bad, but they're still pretty slow. So you're looking at 8 months plus. Greece is not bad, 6 to 8 months. So it is comparable. But what's still an advantage for Malta is that even if you go to Greece, although it can lead to citizenship, it's doubtful you can learn the language, and the taxation is very heavy there. And it requires 7 years. The advantages of the Portugal-Spain program are this. They can lead to citizenship, okay? In Spain, you do need to reside there 6 months out of every year. And Portugal, you don't with the Golden Visa. You can reside 7 days, or is it 14 days, every 2 years, okay? And that will still lead you to citizenship. But the disadvantage of that is that you do need to do a language or cultural exam before the citizenship in 5 years. So when you reach the 5 years in Portugal, you either need to show strong ties, language ability, or something else. In Malta, you just have the residency continued, right? No matter what. So that's the advantage. But the disadvantage in Malta is that it will not lead to citizenship. It's unlikely, let's put it that way. If you want the citizenship, you have to apply for different programs. So unlike many countries where a residency, even in Canada or Panama, a residency leads to citizenship. In Malta, it's very unlikely that the residency leads to citizenship. You got to live there, and there's a million hoops to jump through. But if you apply for the citizenship directly, which is over €1 million, then you will obtain it within 12 months. So the advantage with Portugal residency, Greece, and Spain is it does lead to citizenship. Malta doesn't. But many nationalities, Chinese, Indians, many nationalities do not or cannot have 2 citizenships, but all they want is residency access to EU. And that's where this program is. In conclusion, the Malta Permanent Residency Program stands out as one of the fastest, cheapest options to access euros. It's cost effective when compared to other golden visa programs, right? The Malta Residency Program not only grants permanent residency with freedom to live indefinitely in Malta without actually always having to reside there and being able to renew after 5 years, but it also gives you visa-free access to the entire Schengen region, making it a strategic option for those who are looking for bank account access in the EU, education, freedom of mobility, right? Including your family members in there is a plus. Lowering the cost of your investment through a rental option is a plus. You can always switch to an investment and purchase after a couple of years. That's possible. You can even include your parents and grandparents. This is a plus again. The English-speaking environment in Malta, being bilingual, is definitely a relief, right? Imagine going to a country where you can't communicate in your language or a language that you know, which, for example, is in English. Well, of course, if you can speak Portuguese or learn it, or Spanish or Greek, kudos to you. I can't. Most of my clients can't either. They have a pretty good healthcare system and a stable economy. The weather is Mediterranean, so it's beautiful all year round. If you're thinking about immigrating, whether permanently or temporarily, wherever it is in the world, you're at the right place. We just don't offer immigration. We offer you a solution. I guarantee you only one point. We'll be there till the end. We don't disappear. Plus, we will give you the facts straight up. So it's not like we represent one program and we're pushing it down your throat. We've got access to all the best programs. If I'm not willing to go to that country through that program, I'm not going to offer it to you. Okay? You're in full control of which program you choose for your immigration. We give you the eligibility options, all the info straight up, and then you make the decision. Does your local immigration agency offer you that? We have a $1 million liability insurance, which protects you and us from fraud or mistakes, and a dedicated client trust account with our financial institutions. Our team speaks over 10 languages, and we've helped applicants from 55 different countries. So we are familiar with your documentation, most likely. I've had clients from Cuba, Venezuela, China, Vietnam, Pakistan, India, Ghana, Nigeria, Turkey, Israel, UK, Italy, Mexico, Colombia, Chile, Brazil, the list goes on. And of course, Iran, because I'm originally Iranian. And if you want to take our immigration knowledge for test drive, because you're like, hey, why should I book a paid consultation with this guy right here, right? He sounds crazy. He sounds hyper. He looks young. Does he have experience? Yeah, I've lived in many countries. I've held multiple residencies, and I'm always on the go looking for that deal. What is that deal? The right program. No scams, nothing like that. You can tune in into our YouTube live every week, where we just lay it out for you, and then we engage with our audience members. And you can ask your questions and see if we know the answer. Okay, folks, we're here. And of course, if you have Canadian immigration questions like Safa and Vilas and Nashwan Ali, of course, we're here as well. Any program that we cover, we're here. Nikki Patel, good to see you. First one in line. Hello, Reza. Hello, back to you. Vidya Gopal Kukami. Hello, Reza. Hello, Vidya. Welcome to our YouTube live today. Vilas Desai, good to see you. Hi, Reza. You have beautiful white frames to your glasses today. What can I say? It's a change of color. And thank you for the compliment. I take my glasses very seriously. Safa, hi, nice to meet you today. Safa, how are you, man? How are you? Yeah, the last session, yes. There was a technical issue. I apologize for that. Nashvan Ali, hi Reza. Could you please comment on how requesting GCMS notes by the immigration consultant representative is helpful for PR applications, especially SUV ones? Okay, so Nashvan Ali, last time you asked that question, and I think because of the technical problems we had, nobody heard me. Nobody saw the answer, but I did answer it, just FYI. So this is how it goes. So folks, we're talking about Canadian immigration. We're talking about global case management system notes from the government when they make a decision or they're processing an application, no matter what it is, work permit, PR, study permits, visa visas, whatever it is, okay? So Nashwan Ali is asking, is there an advantage that our consultant, our agent, our legal representative will apply for this because they have a PR application on the process under SUV? So previously we would have said, yes, you can get an insight into what's happening with the case. What are the latest notes from the officer? Are they looking at it? Are there concerns? Is there a security check problem? Is there something of a problem there? Or it's going through quite smoothly, right? Or maybe they've sent you something and you've never received it, but it's in the notes. So it's definitely advisable. However, recently, this year, since all the changes with Canadian government that everyone's heard of, the minister, the system, it's a huge revamp. Okay, I feel like Donald Trump has penetrated the Canadian immigration system. No, just kidding. What's happened is they've used AI a lot, and then we all know about this. AI is being implemented for many years as pilots, and now it's full throttle. And what does this mean? When you request GCMS notes for a lot of applications like work permit, study permit, visitor, it is a generic couple lines which are completely useless. Okay, for the PR applications, they're not bad. So I still advise it. And we recently had a client, nationality, who was stuck since like February, March, like many of you. For SUV, they received like pre-arrival and they were stuck. We received the GCMS and we got some insight into their PR applications under startup visa. So in general, under PR, yes, advisable. Anything else like work permit, study permit, visitor visa, they are now completely useless. Although we do request it, it's just a formality now. And this is the new Canadian government system for immigration. Safa, yes, the last session had a technical issue. I do apologize for everyone. What can I say? Canada is not perfect. Nikki Patel, sorry, my question is out of your today's topic. How are any update on SUV program? No problem, folks. You can ask me anything about my white frames, about US EB5 projects, European residency, Canadian startup visa, Canadian express entry, you name it. If it's within my scope of knowledge, I will reply to you. That's the point of this YouTube live. So today's topic is SUV. That's your question, Nikki. We're going to release in about 2 weeks a live about our predictions on SUV. Things are changing, and they have changed, as you know. However, we have some forecasting on SUV. So keep tuned for that YouTube live in the next 2 weeks. Villas Desai, I cannot accompany my husband using a parent's confirmation of PR. The last day, the 17th October, 2024. Can this be extended, or can my husband alone travel now and me later on 17th? So you have to explain to us, Vilas, how your parents' confirmation of PR is linked to you or your husband. I'm still trying to figure that out because I assume you're not dependents of your parents anymore, and maybe you're sponsored them, or I don't know what's happening. You got to give me some context on that so I can actually help you out. Nationality, could GCMS notes, which is the Global Case Management System notes for the Canadian immigration system, obtained from CBSA or any other source, be helpful as well, or notes obtained from IRCs are the most relevant and beneficial ones? Yeah, they're all the same notes. You can get them through CBSA or IRCC. It's all the same notes. It's just sometimes one is faster, sometimes they're the same. Vilas Desai, my passport expires 25th of April 2025. Can I use the PR stamping on my old passport? Yes. And how long does it take if I apply for passport renewal in Canada? I don't know. I'm not an expert in passport renewals for various countries. I know passport renewals for Canadian passports, but not other nationalities in Canada. So I apologize for that. Safa Saleh, in the final stage, after receiving the pre-arrival service letter for the SUV program for Canada, if a non-essential founder withdraws and does not immigrate or cover taxes and company fees or reply to our calls, any legal advice? Safa, you're giving me some hints. Something's going on with your group. This sounds shaky. So what you do, Safa, is you should not withdraw. That person who went, AWOL, as we call it, should not withdraw. They can disappear, right? But they should not withdraw. Because if you withdraw, not paying the company fees and all that, that's irrelevant and nobody cares. Okay, until the PR, right? And if they're non-essential, it doesn't matter. If they withdraw, it doesn't matter. But if they were an essential member, it would matter a lot if they withdrew. If they're not an essential member, it will not affect anyone in the group. But remember, the rest of the group has to be solid. Your business progress, everything has to be solid until you arrive at the border, in case the CBSA officer asks you. But non-essentials, it doesn't matter. And don't worry about company fees and stuff. That's just like, it's just whatever. Nobody's worried about that when you get the PR. Nobody's going to ask you about that until later, if IRCC has not issued the confirmation of PR. Remember, pre-arrival to confirmation can take time, and it's not guaranteed. Okay, Nashwan Ali, I'm not sure if this question is relevant to the surrogate. Yeah, could you share real case stories about misrepresented cases that you managed to clarify and resolve during PR processing? Ashwan Ali, yeah, I saw that question last week too, and there was a technical issue, but I replied to it. So we handled some misrepresentations where we clarified that it was not an intentional mistake, and we had put documentation, affidavits, but it's got to be an honest mistake. If it was too obvious that you were hiding something that was a disadvantage for your eligibility or admissibility, then probably they won't believe you. We helped another case, which was a visitor visa, and the person didn't declare that they were banned from the U.S. for a while because of a certain thing that they declared there and they were involved in. And we clarified that before the IRCC officer decided or processed it. So that helped a lot. So even if you send web forms into the atmosphere and nobody gets it, you take screenshots of that, hey, I informed you before you actually looked at the file. That helped a lot. But the key is being honest and upfront. If it was an intentional misrepresentation, it will be a tough one to get through, Nashwan. Vilas Tessa, Malta seems to be a great opportunity, worth exploring 110. It's not CAD, so I do apologize for the thumbnail. It's not CAD or USD, it's actually euros, because everything in Europe is euros, as you know. But still, the cheapest so far. Rita Maria, greetings to you, Chief Boss. This is Amaka. Hey, Amaka, how are you? Vilas Tessa, Reza, sorry, I'm asking on behalf of my sister who is in this forum for the first time. She's Vidya. Okay, so you got to explain to me, Vilas Tessa, I can't accompany my husband, okay, using a parent's confirmation PR. Yeah, so you got to explain. So on behalf of Vidya. Okay, that's fine. Tell me, Vilas, Vidya, she received a PR through which program? How are the parents involved? Or if the parents received a PR, what is her status? And so she's a dependent of your parents. That's what I'm trying to figure out. How old is she? Okay. What program are your parents coming under? Right? Give me some insight into that. Then I'll reprocess all the information that you're giving me. Thank you. Nikki Patel, we'll wait for your next live sessions. Nikki, no problem. Thank you. Safa Saleh, thanks for your reply. I asked my consultant the same question, but he couldn't provide any advice like yours, even though we paid him. What should I say? That's okay, Safa. It's fine. I don't know everything either, but I know who to call if I don't. The point is, a lot of people do Startup Visa Canada because there's good money involved, but they've never done it before. They haven't gone through all the various scenarios or dealt with IRCC. So that's why they can't reply. I've seen literally almost everything with SEV, even clients who we don't represent, but they come and do consultations with us. I've heard some crazy stories in SEV. It is crazy. I'm telling you, it's the wild, wild west. Hayat Khan, good play. God bless. Hey, Hayat Khan, how are you? Nice to see you. Love the flags. Villa says, Reza, she's the parent of her son in Canada who's a citizen. Okay, I got to process this. I haven't had my coffee or green tea today. And I haven't had breakfast. Or did I? I think I did. I'm just a hungry boy, ain't I? Villa says, she's the parent of her son in Canada who's a citizen. Okay, so Vidya is the parent of her son who sponsored her. Did I get that right, Vilas? Please let me know. Or am I completely stupid? Safa Saleh, no one has withdrawn yet. Just I'm asking if anything happens in the future in case. Non-essential, Safa, you don't care. You could just press the delete button. Bleep, bleep, gone. They can withdraw, they can cancel, they can be refused, admissibility. Nobody cares if they're non-essential. But if they are essential, everyone's head is on the guillotine. Okay, Hayat Khan, God bless you. God bless you too, Hayat Khan. Nationality, is the visa officer notified directly after applicant submits a web form, or it's just added to the file waiting for the visa officer to open the file? Yes, in most cases, a regular web form just goes into that box, which they can check or not check. But there's a link that's directly linked to your file that if you have access to that, because there's an actual human being processing it, if there is, that goes directly. That's not a standard web form. Safa Salah, hopefully you don't do the same with your clients. Just kidding. No worries, Safa. Yeah. I mean, if we don't know anything, we'll let you know. And we can connect you with the right people who do, because in the immigration world, one person cannot know everything. And this is a fact, folks. I don't care if you're talking about EB5 US projects, Malta, Portugal, golden visas in Europe, New Zealand, Panama, Canadian immigration. No one human being will know everything about the program, okay, about the immigration programs. It's just impossible. Villa says, right, you are correct. Thank you. Okay. Nikki says, thank you. Thanks, Nikki. So Villa says, let's go back to your question. So your sister is the parent of a Canadian citizen. Okay, now I'm going to go read your question with that context in mind. I can't accompany my husband using a parent's confirmation PR. Okay, now this makes sense. Thank you. The last date is 17th October 2024. Can this be extended, or can my husband alone travel now and me later after the 17th of October? Oh, okay. Well, obviously you need to extend it. That's a given. But you're asking, can I stay back or not? Okay. Well, it's a very specific question. I'm going to ask my team, because I don't want to give you just blab out something. For the workers, okay, hold on, folks. Hold on. Experience with Okay, I'm checking Vilas to say. Sorry about that, folks. I do need. So, can you send me an email, Vilas, and I can give you a response on that? Because I want to ask my team. I don't want to just give you what I'm thinking, because I want to make sure my team has actually had that experience before. I've had it in other programs, but I want to double check Vilas and give you the proper answer. Okay. So, Vilas, can you send us an email to our office? Vilas Desai info@ingwe.ca, and just say, Reza, I spoke with Reza on YouTube, and then looking for an answer to this question, and that's it. I will reply to you with the answer. Okay. As if there's a fair case. What else we got? Nashwan Ali. Yeah. Okay. Right. You're correct. Thank you. Rita Maria. Maka. Can a client who has two wives do separate Malta applications for the wives, him being the main applicant of the main applications? So two wives is not recognized in most Western countries, Amaka. Do separate Malta for the wives. Yeah, no, it won't work that way. I mean, he has to pick one wife as the dependent, like a spouse. Like, so one spouse, you cannot have two. So basically, you cannot do two applications, right, with two dependents. One of the wives should have a separate application as her being the main applicant, if possible. But you cannot mix and match like that. Okay, so interesting question. Hayat Khan, sure, Reza, thank you. Ingwe Canada, Rita Maria. If yes, can use the same proof of funds? No, it's a no, Amaka, so you cannot use anything. Villa says, sure as that. Thanks so many. Video will send it. Hold on. Let me see if I'll get a response, and I'll let you know. Okay, through email. Vilas Desai. Looking forward to video email me. Safa Saleh, if you receive a confirmation of PR for the SUV program, I assume in Canada, but plan to travel after the medical test expiration date, I assume we'll need to renew. Yes, 100%. No doubts about that, folks. Okay, folks, today we talked about non-Canadian immigration. Malta, the cheapest, very effective residency if you're not looking for citizenship. So I have clients who sometimes obtain Dubai or Malta residency, and then they buy a passport from another country, or they apply for a citizenship through another residency, because Malta residency doesn't necessarily lead to citizenship. So you could do a Malta residency. I have clients like that. And then you also buy a Caribbean passport, maybe. Or you do a Panama residency, which leads to citizenship without actually living there. Voila. Right? Because Malta residency does not lead to citizenship. Only the Malta Citizenship Program leads to citizenship, which is over €1 million. But it is within a year, and you don't need to live there. Remember, folks, to recap on Malta, you don't need to live there to renew after 5 years residency. And there's no residency required except owning or renting a property there. You can rent or purchase the property after you arrive, not before, remotely. Nobody wants to do that. And it's 6 to 8 months processing time. Voila! No language requirements, no education, nothing like that. It's all about net worth, criminality, and medical. It's easy. It's good. And it allows you to travel within the EU region with your own passport. All you do is you've got your EU residency, right? Folks, thanks for joining. I'm going to wait for that email, Vilas Desai, from your sister. Safa, you're going to keep us updated about the SUV group, because there's a lot of weird questions you're throwing our way. I'm worried about your group. And of course, Nikki Patel, we're going to tune in probably about 2 weeks from now, our SUV forecast. Okay? It's one thing to say what's happening now. Well, we know what's happening now. A lot is not happening, but it's brewing. It's about to boil. And we've got that information for you. And of course, we got Amaka. Nice to see you, Amaka. We're going to see you later this evening. So I've got a jam-packed day today. Nashwan Ali. And of course, we've got the people in the shadows who don't come up front and comment or ask questions. That's okay, too. We love the people in the shadows, don't we? The ones that are in the back and we can't see them. That's okay. As long as you tune in, and we're here every week, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to be notified of our live sessions and the videos. We've got great new programs coming up, and we're adding new countries to our portfolio. Countries you may not have heard about, or programs you may not have heard about, and newer programs that are very cost effective in obtaining a residency in the Western countries. Like folks. Safa says like folks. Yes, if you press the like button on the YouTube screen right now, that will make my day, folks, and I will not be fired from my job. Okay? But other than that, great connecting with everyone. And no matter which immigration program you pick, folks, do your homework, compare, plan, reverse engineer, then apply. Don't apply for the sake of applying and be like, oh, I didn't know this. Oh, how come I didn't know I couldn't do that, or I didn't know I need to live here, or I wish I would have applied for that other program. Immigration changes daily, weekly, monthly. We've seen it in the last 12 months. Prices of golden visas going up, passport programs, Canadian immigration. Every program, whether it's Greece, Portugal, even Panama, is increasing to 500,000 US in October, folks. We have it at 300,000 US today. Real estate, not donation. And you can get 5-6% ROI on it every year. And you only need to live 1 day every 2 years there. You got to reside there 1 day in every, and it's freaking tax-free. 0 taxes. Anyways, I'm going to Panama. See you later, alligator. Bye-bye, folks. I think I'm hyper now. Bye-bye.